Hi there! You're invited to listen to an exclusive excerpt from the next episode that I'll be publishing on Sunday. My next guest is absolutely fascinating, and this is just a teaser of what you can expect from our discussion. Enjoy listening, and I'll see you on Sunday for the full episode.
Welcome to FinScale, a podcast created by Solène Niederkorn, shedding light on innovation in finance, banking, and insurance.
Investing for Change, a deep dive into carbon equity's journey. Jacqueline van den Ende, CEO and co-founder of Carbon Equity.
A lot of climate tech is deep tech. US has definitely the best ecosystem for deep tech because they have much larger funds and there's a greater risk appetite and you have a bigger market to serve. Followed by Europe. And the reason why Europe has always been a leader in this space is that we have rather forward regulation. So Europe has the European Green Deal. The US obviously just introduced the Inflation Reduction Act, which is a huge push for climate technology. But Europe has always been leading when it comes to green policies and a push from the regulator. And now what we see is that Asia is really starting to emerge. So especially China, of course, is no longer the follower, but really starting to become a leader and starting to really dominate certain industries.
Get ready to be swept off your feet by the exciting journey of a passionate entrepreneur, Jacqueline. She's there to demystify the world of alternative climate funds, whether it's infrastructure, real estate, private equity, growth, or venture capital. Her motto, it is time to finance companies that are changing the world. We'll also explore the incredible potential of this platform, which is making alternative assets more accessible. Jacqueline will share all the nitty-gritty details that went into setting up Carbon Equity, from fund type and ticket size to marketing and distribution and secondary market setup. Recently, Carbon Equity created a new vehicle that is open to investors who want to change the world by financing the economy of the future. Tune in for an informative and exciting episode. Enjoy the show! Hi, everyone. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, it's very nice to be here.
Yeah, super excited to have that recording with you. I was expecting that recording already 6 or 8 months ago. You've been working in private equity for quite a while, and then you have been inspired by, you will tell us what happened and why you launched Carbon Equity. Can you please start by introducing yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. So pleasure to be here. My name is Jacqueline. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Carbon Equity. And indeed, I have a mixed career. I spent more or less half of my career as an investor, initially in private equity, later as a partner in a VC fund. Mm-hmm. And the other half I spent building companies, amongst which almost 6 years in Southeast Asia, working with Rocket Internet and Ant Financial, building fintech company and an online real estate company. So I like to build and invest in companies.
Perfect. So there is a lot to say about Carbon Equity. But prior to that, I wanted that you explain to us the typology of climate funds, because I recently published an episode with Isabelle Albert that you know from Sat Ghana. So yes. we deep dived into a VC climate fund, but there are many other climate funds, and I think that maybe not everyone knows that you might have infrastructure climate funds, you might have real estate funds, so would be worth stopping a few minutes and that you explain to us what are those climate funds, what they represent, and how did it evolve over the last, let's say, 5 years.
Yeah, great question, because you're absolutely right that climate investing is often automatically associated with very early stage, deep tech, venture type investments. But you could say that there are climate funds across all asset classes. So if we look at the private equity space, you have venture capital climate funds, growth equity climate funds who are investing in scale-ups, Series C and beyond, and you have buyout funds. We recently invested in Ara Partners, which is a really cool climate buyout fund. Mm-hmm. And then you also have, as you mentioned, real estate funds, which only invest in zero carbon, real estate. And you've got infrastructure funds. And also these infrastructure funds play a huge role in the energy transition because they are financing things such as windmills and solar panel infrastructure, but also grid improvements, or, for example, manufacturing facilities for green steel, green cement, etc. So climate spans everything.
And you didn't talk about crypto.
No,
you have green blockchains.
That is correct. And there are also a whole bunch of climate crypto fintech companies that are trying to solve, for example, the carbon offset problem using blockchain technology. So definitely a lot happening there as well.
Excellent. Perfect. So amongst all those different verticals and typology of asset classes, which is the one that is the most important in terms of assets? Do you have an idea?
For me, I would say intuitively venture growth and infrastructure.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that, venture has a huge role to play in driving innovation. So part of the technologies that we need to evolve towards a zero carbon future are already known, but part of them are still very nascent or have not even been invented yet. Think about nuclear fusion. That could be a totally game-changing technology, but it's very early stage. Then growth equity plays a very big role in scaling up those technologies and making sure that, think about plant-based meat, think about vertical farming, think about technologies that are beyond technology risk and now need to drive as much adoption as possible. And then if you look at the total financing need to finance energy transition, I think it's approximately 7 trillion a year. The vast majority of that is infrastructure investment. So therefore those three: innovation and transition.
Now that you've heard an excerpt from the upcoming episode on Sunday, make sure you stay tuned and connected so you don't miss a beat.